Okay, hi and good evening. Good evening, Malaysia. Good evening, India. This is Ethel Da Costa, and you are back with me on a season 2 of 2022 of Heart to Heart. As you can see, we had a great season 1 in 2021. I had some awesome guests that joined me from Malaysia, India, Dubai, and elsewhere. We had some really fantastic conversations about life, media, empowerment, women, and everything that needed to be discussed with the industry leaders. I had a great time. 2021 was such a powerful and empowering year for me because I learned some very core lessons of life, and how to kind of pivot myself as a professional. From a personal level, lots of lessons to learn in how to make myself better, stronger, more lighter in terms of letting go of things that don't serve me, as we call it, right? So 2022, it's a year of the tiger. It has great energy. I also did a lot of travel in between. And now that Malaysia's borders are open, I'm very excited to kind of finally get to explore Malaysia. So here we are on an April Sunday, 10th of April. Season 2 begins with Heart to Heart. For the next, I think, 2 or 3 months that I really want to take my conversations forward. To coincide with the borders opening up in Malaysia, and with all the excitement of travel and people coming into Malaysia and, people wanting to travel to Malaysia, including my friends from India, I have 2 veterans, as I call it, I have the pleasure of calling my friends, and the great industry insights that personally myself have learned from them. Very passionate women who have serviced the travel and tourism industry and hospitality industry for a very long time. I have Jane Rai with me, who will come on board, very very soon now, and talk about everything that has been driving her conversations too. I have Vimala Sivasubramanium, who's a veteran in the hospitality industry in Malaysia, to share her insights too. So let's just get going with Heart to Heart with Ethel Da Costa, season 2, beginning today. I can see friends who are finding my page to log in. I understand that it is after a very long time, almost I think 3 months, that Heart to Heart is back online, but better late than never. So here we are in 2022, going in for another 3 months. Yeah, 3 months is a good time to have fantastic conversations with people who I really like and respect. And as I call it, Heart to Heart is about leadership, but leadership from a very soul space. So Jane is already here with me. I can see Vimala is also here. Vimala has been quite busy at Matha today, but I'm so grateful she's made the time to join us. So let me just get Jane online and I think have our conversations happening. Hang on. Jane, you're here. Hi, good evening.
Hi, Ethel. Well, so nice to see you again. And a very good evening to you. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. And hello to everyone, wherever you are right now. It's a pretty cool day here in Kuala Lumpur. So, yeah, we're ready to have a lovely conversation with you, eh?
Yes, absolutely. So it was quite a hot Sunday today. And then suddenly, in Malaysia's unique style, it just starts pouring out of its own, its own whims and fancy.
Oh,
And,
yes.
the weather is so temperamental. So I was telling a friend of mine, I said, Malaysia's weather is like a boyfriend breadcrumbing you. It just has its own moods and stuff
Well,
that way. So,
I prefer to call it the perpetual summer. The tropics have always been something that intrigued many people. So, yeah, and that's what makes us unique. Yeah, our tropic
yeah,
climate is
that's
wonderful.
correct. So welcome, Jane. Welcome
Thank you.
to the season 2, first episode of Heart to Heart. I know that you've had quite some surprises that have happened to you over the weekend, but the professional that you are, you've kind of just belted it all in, and here you are sitting down with me. So thank you for making the time.
Well,
And
I thought this was a very good opportunity to really share what there is, with people from all over the world. So, yeah.
yeah, correct. And it is your pet passion as well, correct? Because
Absolutely.
you've been a veteran for such a long time now. So to my listeners on Facebook, Jane Rai is the founder of Free Walk Kuala Lumpur Unscripted, and she will tell you what it's all about. She's also the founder of Kuala Lumpur Heritage Walks. She loves Chinatown, so that's another passion project for Jane. Jane is also the former chairperson of Women in Travel Industry, I think from a period of 2015 to 2017. A lot of awards, Jane, a lot of respect in the industry circles from what you do, because I've seen the media, I've read the media, and I know that the team that you manage on your, Free Walk Kuala Lumpur are very passionate, like you. All your guests who walk with you in Chinatown, they love what you do, and I'm sure they love love your passion as well. So tell me, as a travel and tourism professional, share your experiences all these years that we were talking about backstage too, in promoting brand Malaysia. I would like to know what you have to say about it.
Thank you. Ethel, it's been a 33 good year in the travel industry, working in management and marketing level. And right now I'm just executing tours. I focus a lot more on heritage tours. But I've seen Malaysia really, going strong from time to time. And the Malaysian government, the authorities, typically the Ministry of Tourism and also Tourism Malaysia, they have put a lot of effort to re-strengthen the brand. And I'm sure you're aware that we have been, going on this tagline called Malaysia Truly Asia, which we started in 1999. And we were supposed to strengthen that as well in the year 2020. But as everybody knows globally, the COVID has literally got everybody to a halt. And so I have seen tremendous change. I've seen tremendous boost. And the fact that we Malaysians have increasingly been very mindful of making Malaysia a very unique destination. I mean, there are many, every country has its own unique selling point. And we are very driven to making sure that we have the right numbers coming into the country and, pumping in money into the economy.
Correct.
But it's all about the economy of experience at the end of the day. So it's not only the government that has to roll out the carpet and set the policies and set the scenes correctly. Likewise, all the industry players, people like me, who's a small timer, also can continue to reassert the brand. And what are we really known for? We're known for our friendliness. And Malaysia is a very diverse country. We're diverse from our race. We're diverse with our language, our food, our religion. So the whole idea of positioning Malaysia as one of the top selling must-visit destination in the ASEAN region is something that we've been working on.
Correct.
And I think we can do a lot more given the circumstances that we're in. And we are all very excited, and I'm sure globally people are excited, to open up their borders and ensuring that, the necessary processes are adopted. And what I believe in right now is that we Malaysians I would like to see us continue with the Visit 2020 campaign, which really was put on a halt. And, we've lined up so many, a whole calendar of events throughout the country, and I think we can execute that. And I like to see more people come into our country. I mean, we're very warm and friendly people. And when we meet each other, we don't say, "How are you, mate?" We say, "Have you eaten?" And that's Malaysia. And I think, Ethel, you know this very well. We Malaysians love food. Food bridges us everywhere.
Yes.
So, so over the 33 years, I have seen the strength and the changes that we've made, the marketing strategy that we've adopted. And we have to continue doing that. We must never stop that. Because, you got to keep the brand Malaysia in the mind of many people. And this is something you do continuously. And, we all have a role to play. You have a role to play. So I'm very excited, now that the border is open. And we'll have to wait and see how, and monitor and see how situations are going to be. It's too early to say.
Yes. Correct.
So.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Jane. Also, as you mentioned, the Malaysia 2020 program, right? I was a part of it, when it was launched in 2019, and that is how Malaysia Tourism invited me to Malaysia, and of course I never left, which is another different, it's a different story of saying how warm and hospitable the country truly is,
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, and how I myself, feel embraced and the assimilation into its way of life, and my way of life, has been beautiful. It's 2022.
Absolutely.
Yeah, correct. And there's nothing for me to complain. I completely love that. My love for Malaysia. I think my friends in India think that I've abandoned them now.
Well, I think you're just improving the relationships, between us and your country. And, I have always admired the Indian visitors when they come to Malaysia, because India is such a diverse country too. And, they got so many different breads that you can talk about and food. And when they come here, the conversations are always pivoting around food and about people.
Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
really warm, very warm people. And like I said, they make good conversations, and
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
hope to see them here soon.
Yes, I'm waiting for my friends too. So I think they've all kind of initiated visa inquiries and stuff like that already. So
Yes.
that is great. That's great news. So great, But as I was saying in my introduction, to introduce you, Jane, you have been such a strong player, in the entire travel and tourism industry. And as I said, being a veteran, having launched your own platforms, which are very unique and niche, that kind of very beautifully fits into the lifestyle segment of travel, which is so important today, right? Because I think travel cannot be, especially now post COVID, cannot be a very generalized sort of, exercise anymore, because all the travel reports that I've been reading across the globe all specify to a particular niche that has opened up even for the type of traveler looking for experiences. And I think Malaysia has a lot to offer to the niche traveler, correct? And I'm sure you agree to that too.
Oh yes, I mean, there's plenty to do here. I mean, it's open to anyone of different economic group as well.
Hmm.
And what I typically do now is that after being in the industry for 33 years and having to look after the meeting incentive business, the U.S. naval ship cruise trips here, the Eastern and Oriental train, and those were some of the niche products that we were promoting, or
Hmm.
rather extending to. My focus right now is to look at the element of all things to do with heritage, because
Hmm.
it needs to be sustained. And so that's why I'd gone into walking tourists. And walking tourists allow you to have an emotional connection to the places. And
Yes.
so basically I'm a storyteller.
Hmm.
And I have this deep concern about our old buildings, some of the unique legacies that have been left behind. We don't want them to just disappear
Hmm.
because of individual agendas. And
Correct.
so I thought the best way was for me to promote the destination that I live in, and that's in the city, the capital, Kuala Lumpur.
Hmm.
And walking tours are very sustainable. They're easy to handle. I don't have to involve transportation. And it is only for those people who really genuinely like to walk on foot and,
Yes.
hear unique stories. And
Correct.
so the more stories you tell people around the world about the places that they see, and the untold stories, and the emotional connections you have with those and the people and the community that live around it, I
Hmm.
think that is one way of really assuring the brand
Mm-hmm.
that Malaysia, there are people in the industry who do things differently, or rather follow the mainstream and continue doing it. But at the end of the day, it's all about building trust and about building relationship.
Correct.
People want to have a memorable experience when they come to in interface with you. Your charisma, your
Hmm.
friendliness, and introducing them what is really unique about this country and what they can really feel at the grassroots level is something
Correct.
that I'm very conscious of. And
Correct.
I
And
just
also,
love
I
doing that.
guess, what is the takeaway, right? What do they take away from that experience? Because travel and tourism is all about, you know, personal experiences today. I'm sure you agree
Yeah.
to that. Yeah.
Sure. People
Okay.
people take away different interpretation.
Hmm. Hmm.
They take away things based on their perception. But
Mm-hmm.
as a host, like people like ourselves, like me, we have to ensure that they get a glimpse of really the true essence of what we Malaysians are all about. Because
Yes.
like I said, we're so diverse. We've got the Malays, the Chinese, Indian, and we've got so many other ethnic groups, and this is one country where you can actually, in a sentence, speak four languages,
Mm-hmm.
and in a social context. And I'm
Correct.
sure you've heard of this. When you order food, you say, ane. Ane means India. Ane satu or dua roti. You know, that ane is Tamil, dua roti means two bread.
Yes.
And then you say you want to pack it in Chinese, we say ta bao.
Tapao,
So
tapao.
there goes your Chinese language. And then you say the word please. So
Hmm.
this is something really unique here. And I just love it. Somebody invented this, and I thought this is a really apt thing to describe. And
Yes.
so, like I said, people's takeaway depends very much on their expectation. But you
Hmm.
know
Hmm.
what? If we can make them feel connected with us,
Hmm.
that would itself be a wonderful trust building exercise as well.
Correct. Yes. Thank you, Jane. I think that is just absolutely correct because uh, having, I travel extensively, whether it's a food experience or whether there's social gatherings. And you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. In any conversation, I've seen all the four languages just merge into like a dialogue, like a day-to-day conversation that happens in. And I think
yeah,
that is what is so beautiful about, the diversity of Malaysia that I also experience and see,
yeah.
having been here for the last 2 years now. What do you think, Jane? In your expert opinion, are the strengths and weaknesses that you foresee in the travel industry this particular year?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a very challenging time. Although we have had a low profile for 2 over years with the COVID, I think for our government, for our Malaysian, for the industry players, they'll have to keep a very open mind, knowing what the challenges would include. Would Malaysia be a safe country? Because that's what everybody is talking about right now. It seems to be the main catchphrase: is the destination clean? Is the
Hmm.
destination safe? So there's a lot of effort, and it's a very costly affair. So when
Yes.
people are traveling, the first thing they want to know is that country ready to deal with this whole COVID thing, because we know that it's still there. And I
Hmm.
think the other expectation is that people want to know that if they are coming back into a destination that they like, they want to make sure that there is not a price hike, because now we're beginning to see airlines particularly
Hmm.
increasing their fare. And I think you can understand that, people can understand that, why that's happening. And service levels are also going up. So that might create a little bit of a concern for people who are traveling on a budget, that travel is going to be expensive. And then this whole thing about having to be put in quarantine and the cost of all the COVID tests, different countries will apply different rate. So
Hmm.
it all adds up to the actual travel cost. That might be a bit of a challenge. That
Hmm.
might be a bit of a challenge. And I believe that we need to give a bit more time. We just started in April 1st,
Yes.
opening up our borders, and the airlines will have to play a major role, and the connectivity has to be good.
Hmm.
And I think a good period of about 6 months to a year would probably help us to know in which direction we're going, and what else needs to be done to lure people here, which is
Hmm.
why I come back to the same point earlier, that since we could not carry out the 2020 visit Malaysia year, I think we
Correct.
should roll that out, because there's been so many things that we've arranged, and let's put that to test.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
as long as the destination offers affordable price, because at the end of the day, it's all about pricing.
Absolutely
And,
correct.
and
Yes.
yeah, and when you come to Malaysia, you can, it's like a springboard. You can go off to Singapore, you can go to Thailand, you can go to Philippines, Bangkok, India, and it's all
Correct.
within that same ASEAN region.
Yes.
And one of
Yes.
the good thing about Malaysia is that we speak English, at all levels.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
communication is really not an issue, and our currency at the moment is still affordable for people, especially for the Europeans, the Americans. And
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to seeing many more Indian visitors
Hmm.
from the
Hmm.
ASEAN region, because we are in the neighborhood. This is the short haul that you can, hop on and come. So
Correct.
yeah, I just hope that people will find their hearts and mind to start to travel. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to go off to Bangkok in India as well. Hopefully by early March next year, when it's a little bit more warmer, I suppose. When it gets warmer in India. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, I'm planning a trip too, and I'm planning a trip to Cambodia as well because I think it's time to kind of exercise the legs a little bit, as I keep saying, because I think this is the first time in my life I've ever been grounded in one particular place for 2 years, which is very
well,
unnatural for
that's
me.
remarkable, very remarkable.
On that note, Jane, we have a lot of people joining in. I can see Amir Prince, who says, "Hi Jane, hi Ethel." Says Jane is the best. Of course, Jane is the best, and that's why she's on my
Oh,
show
thank
because
you.
thank you, Amir. Thank you for being online with us. There's also Americo Norona, who says, "Great stuff, Ethel. Cheers." Thank you, and thank you for making the time, to kind of to tune in and to be with us. We have great stuff coming in, so please stay on. There's also Kamian Poon, who is from the Zenith Group of hotels. I met her last weekend. We had this absolutely fantastic fam trip that they put together for us, right from
Absolutely.
Jaya to Cameron to Kuantan. It was like my own travel session that happened in, and thanks to Vimala, who's online backstage with us, and she will come on soon to discuss and share her experiences with us too. So thank you
Fantastic.
for thank you for being online with us. Stay on. As I said, I have these two fantastic women who I really like and respect, and they have so much to share because they've contributed so much to Malaysia already. In terms of what they give back to the spaces that they work and make a living, as well as contribute so much to the betterment of the country. And Jane, as I said, do you want to kind of share what free work Kuala Lumpur Unscripted is all about? Very briefly.
Sure. Well, thank you. When just before COVID, we created two brands focusing on heritage walks in
Hmm,
the
hmm,
old quarters of Kuala Lumpur. And the one brand called the Kuala Lumpur Heritage Walks. That brand includes everything: food, transport, and meals. But in that brand, all the food are prepared by women, and all the ingredients are local ingredients, because we want to give people that real, true, unique, authentic experience. And
hmm.
so that one was meant to be promoted to international market, and also to the local Malaysian travel agents who would buy
Okay.
into our products, because we have a team of people who can execute that to a high standard. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
free walk Kuala Lumpur Unscripted, we whipped that up very quickly when the COVID took place. So we launched that in March 2020. The whole rationale behind the free walk Kuala Lumpur Unscripted was to carry out a passionate project that we had. It's called Keeping KL's Heritage Alive. So this particular free walk Kuala Lumpur Unscripted is a tip-based, tip-supported business model. We've
Mm-hmm.
made it affordable for anyone who is in Kuala Lumpur, just about anyone. And
Hmm.
today we had a lady. She just flew into Malaysia, and
Okay.
we had a Spaniard who came from Singapore who joined us today. So we're beginning to see quite a number of international guests other than the expatriates who are here. So the free walk Kuala Lumpur Unscripted is there to stay, and it's affordable. And like I said, it is purely a walking tour showcasing
Yes.
the stories of and the community. We support the community. It's all about telling them our heritage, because people like to hear those stories. And when you're walking with people, you have the
Yes.
chance to bond with them and get more personal with them, and in a good sense, so
Correct. I
yeah.
also
And I
think,
hope.
yeah, I also think that all the structures come alive because when you bring focus and attention to them, and Chinatown is a personal favorite of mine because I spent my first initial 3 months in lockdown in Chinatown, so I kind of
Well,
explored that. And
Chinatown has changed a lot. There's a lot of gentrification, a lot of, creating wonderful spaces for the
mhm,
community to express
mhm.
their art. There's a lot of new things happening. There's a whole shift of F&B, and
Yes,
that landscape of that little part of Kuala Lumpur called the Chinatown, which is on one side of the famous river, the Klang River, it's becoming very bustly,
yes.
very busy. And like I said, there's not only just food, but there's a lot of
Mhm.
theater and art there as well. And
Correct.
it's very well balanced. And I just hope people will come and enjoy that part of
Enjoy.
old Kuala Lumpur.
So when my friends come down from Malaysia, from India to Malaysia, I've promised them a very personalized tour of Chinatown from my perspective, because as I said, I know all the hidden bars and the speakeasies. Most of
Yeah.
my friends own those properties, and we did a short kind of walk in ourselves, remember, and you showed me like a restaurant or two there. I think it's such a beautiful, how do you call it, like a town within a town.
Yeah,
And I think,
you know,
and I Yes,
Ethel,
stories.
the 2 years that we've been running the free walk unscripted brand, we have two walks, and
Hmm.
I have seen quite a number of Indian expats who are
Hmm.
working here.
Hmm.
Most of them are in the IT business, or they are in the technology business. We've seen them participate in our walks, and we
Hmm.
know so because we make them register with them, so we have their nationality, and
Correct.
so we can keep track of how many people we've done. Whilst the Malaysian movement control, whilst the lockdowns were lifted, we were immediately ready to start the walks again,
Hmm.
um, and spring back, because our partners, like the hotels, all the five-star hotels, are incredibly supportive of our initiative, keeping that project alive. So, yes, it's safe, it's good, it's fun. People
Yes.
come, roll in.
Yeah, that is true. And yeah. Okay, Ricky, I understand that FB has changed. You said your account ID, but that's completely fine. Awesome to see you here. So Ricky is from Goa, and yeah, an old colleague of mine. So welcome, Ricky. Stay on. Lots to kind of share. And as I said, this is season 2 of Heart to Heart in association with the Mac Clinic. I'm so grateful to Dr. Hugh for joining hands with me back again, in producing this entire very heart-to-heart leadership conversations that I believe in. And as we know that, that the Mac Clinic has also had one of the longest innings in Malaysia as being one of the most premier aesthetic institutions in Malaysia. So, Dr. Hugh, I know you're somewhere having a holiday with your family at Club Med. Lucky you. Enjoy yourself. All of us need a break, from work. So, if you have the time, you can join in. If not, no problem at all. As I said, um, work hard, rest, party hard is our motto too. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support in supporting season 2 of Heart to Heart with Ethel Da Costa. On this particular note, let's get in Vimala to join in the conversation, because as I said, she has been a huge support to me too when I got into Malaysia, because I reached out to the industry like I do, and Vimla was so quick to kind of to get back to me and kind of and make her own connections. And I love that. I love that give when it happens from the heart, because it opens up my heart even wider, and I'm so grateful to Vimala for that. I love her for that. So let's get her on board. Let's get her online, and let's see what Vimala has to share from her perspective as being such a veteran in the hospitality industry in Malaysia. Vimala, hi.
Hello, hi Jane, hi Ethel, good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
Good
Wow.
evening.
Long
Good
time.
evening. I know. I know. I
You
know.
know, the virtual world has really become the norm, hasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very
Vimla,
true.
thank you. Thank you for making the time. I know you're at Mata, and I know it's a busy, it's been busy weekend for you. But obrigado, as they say in Portuguese, for making the time to join in our first session of season 2, Heart to Heart with Ethel Da Costa in association with the Mac Clinic.
Mm,
Welcome.
thank you. Thank you for having me. So very, very honored, surprised though.
Yeah, great. So we've been having, I've been having such a wonderful conversation with Jane, and she's shared so many insights about, the entire tourism and travel spectrum of Malaysia ever since the borders have opened up. 2022 is a very encouraging year. It's a year of the tiger, as we say. So we see a lot of, energy into it. But it's also a very challenging year for the industry as well. And
Very.
you've been there, done that, seen it all, correct, and still kicking butt, if that's an allowed word on Facebook. So, from your perspective as a travel and hospitality professional, Vimala,
Yes.
share your experience in promoting Malaysia.
Um, well, I started promoting Malaysia probably like 25 years ago when I started handling the travel and tours accounts. Before that, I was doing like private and corporate government accounts. So
Mm,
when the opportunity was given for me to start promoting to the local wholesales and tour operators here, and it was different because we just promote our hotel. Then when I
correct.
started going for trade show and meeting people, that's when I started having this passion, because to me, Malaysia has everything.
Mm,
We have the beauty, we have the sun, we have the sea, we have the mountains, and on top of that, how multiracial, multicultural, we're so rich in all
yes,
this.
yes,
We are very, very rich in natural resources. We have everything, you
correct.
know. So, and it's good because when they said Malaysia truly Asia, that brings the whole thing into one
Mm, mm,
Asian country, how we are. And when I started going, the first country I think I went to promote was Singapore.
okay.
Then I did Brunei. So explaining about the destination, explaining mainly pushing Malaysia comes first as a
Mm,
destination before the hotel where I work
mm,
with
mm, mm.
you know
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
so that's how. Then I started going to India, then Middle East, then
Mm,
Australia. So it's just tapping in Thailand, Indonesia. Then started going to London, Berlin. So when I attend all these trade shows and the passion we have in wanting people to come and experience, we've been born here and
mm, mm.
experiencing this, like we take everything for granted,
Granted.
right?
Yes.
And then when you
Yes.
go overseas 3 weeks, you're away, you're dying to come back.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
you're missing your nasi lemak too.
yes, exactly. The first thing we land, we all search for our nasi lemak,
Yeah.
and we're so spoiled. We can eat Indian food, Chinese food, Malay food, Western food, Italian food, everything you can find here, right? And we're
Yeah.
so spoiled with the variety. So sometimes when you go to one particular country, you'll see that, okay, you only have like, you go to Korea, you have a lot of Korean food, then you have
Mm,
to hunt for other fast food. You
correct.
see? Then that's when you start missing, and
Mm,
because we are spoiled and our palates have become, we can acquire all kinds of tastes,
right.
you know.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
that's another thing. So I always tell people, if you go to one country, you only experience one thing. If you go to Europe, it's only one culture,
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
right?
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
when you come to Asia, you have all these mixed blends, and that's where you tell them you really know what Malaysia is all about.
Yes.
I said, instead of visiting India, China, yeah, then you have Indonesia. You come here, you'll
Mm,
find everything here. You
correct.
know, you'll have
Uh,
all those things here.
on that note, I think I shared with you too, because so when I went to Dubai, I was surprised because I actually missed Malaysia for that 1 month that I was there. And I actually went looking out for nasi lemak, by the way. And of course, I found a place, but it was a very Dubai version of a nasi lemak. And I was like, hey, this is not the original one, that kind of thing. So I completely understand what you're saying. And you've traveled quite a bit. You've traveled quite a bit, Vimala. You're everywhere too. And
Yes,
that's why, yeah, and it's a great perspective, that also supports your own, trade as you do, right, as a professional too.
correct. And
Correct.
on top of that, when you tell people what they can come and experience from your part, right? And people, when the more they hear, they just say, okay, let's hop on the plane and go there.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's when you see, and then when they come, like I used to do a lot of fam trips, a lot of agents coming in
Mm.
and we explain to them, and they come, they love it. So they
Yes.
go back and they said the experience that they have here is
Correct.
so beautiful that they just want to. Next trip, you see them coming with their families. Then they'll start
Mm.
sending their friends. That's
Yes.
how it comes. So it's
Correct.
good. And then it's okay. Go look her up. Stay here. They have so many places, variety places to go. So that is
Yes.
why I like, and then traveling with Tourism Malaysia and experiencing. And we have so many different states. You
Correct.
know,
Yes. Yeah.
sometimes I
Yeah.
feel pity. People come for just 5 nights, 6 nights, say go.
Yeah.
They have
Yes.
no time to see all the other beautiful states.
Correct. Yeah. And I've not seen the entire country myself, by the way. So I've dedicated 2022 as the year for me to do Malaysia. In other words,
Yes.
and to my audiences on Facebook, Vimala introduced me to Jane, by the way, and that's how I met Jane. I've yet to do her tour and walk, because I think every time I've made a plan, I, I've I've not committed to it, actually, Jane. So yeah, so I'm making
You,
a very public promise to you that I am going to make time for
it,
your tour.
well, I hope it will be soon. But you know what? Tourism connects people. This,
Yes,
Yes.
this people to people industry is just so powerful and
correct.
very enriching as well.
Yes,
True.
very true. So Wim, do you want to tell my audience what are you doing currently?
Okay, currently, I've joined a new company, a new hotel, and trying to introduce to a lot of people about this new. They have beautiful properties, so
Hmm.
I just have to go out there and get people to know the hotel and come over. First of all, I start describing and promoting the destination where the hotel is.
Right.
you know
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
the destination becomes the most priority, then comes the hotel, and then who
Yeah.
fits there. Not
Yes.
everyone wants to go to these places, so you
Correct.
just have to go and find the kind of people who will come there or passing through.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
that's why we are trying to explain to people, well, there's a lot of hotels. I see sometimes people are just promoting and going and staying in the same hotel. So I
Right.
think this lockdown, people started wanting to go and experience something different. You
Hmm.
know, when you eat
Yes.
too much of apples, you sometimes say, okay, I think I'm tired today. Let's
Yeah.
try the strawberries, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people do that. So now during this lockdown, I think people have started to move and try a lot of new things. You
Hmm.
know,
Local
you used to
places.
go and sit and dine in, you go and find new places. And I think this 2 years, more Malaysians has discovered more Malaysia.
Correct. Yeah, and that's
You
why
know,
I think it was a fantastic idea that Tourism Malaysia came up, with the Chutti Chutti Malaysia, right?
yes,
Because
correct,
locals were traveling within the country,
correct.
without having done it before. Because I know in my own social circle of
Mm-hmm.
locals, they've not been to
Yes,
places in Malaysia at all, and I'm like, how can you not explore your own country, right? In that sense,
yes.
yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah, you're
because a
correct.
lot of us, when we have, sometimes you look at the hotel pricing and then they say, okay, this is Malaysia. So
Hmm.
it's always here. We'll
Hmm.
come another round and let's
Yes.
go to Vietnam, go to Thailand. So people tend
Correct.
to go because sometimes with the airfare, you have your low cost area, budget hotels, programs fitting into that kind of budget. So they
Yes.
rather go overseas, get your passport stamped so you
Yes.
can tell
Yes.
that I've been to this country, but your own
Yes.
back, you don't know
Yeah.
much. That
Correct.
goes
Yeah.
even to me. I have no time to go and recover and see what
Hmm.
Malaysia is.
Yes.
So
Correct.
that's where people started going.
And
And
I think. Sorry. Yeah. Please continue.
so I think this is where we want to really push Malaysia. Now people can come back. I think
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
people who are coming regularly to Malaysia, they're waiting to come back. Everyone keep asking me, when is your country opening borders? When can we come in? A
Yes.
lot of them want to come in. They heard so
Correct.
much and they kept cooped in their own country for 2 years. They
Yes.
just can't get out.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm
Yes.
so glad that the airports and the borders are finally open. So everyone who's listening in India, in Dubai, and elsewhere, Malaysia borders have opened up. please
Correct.
figure out your visas, because I know that I've been also trying to, because my daughter wants to come to Malaysia too now, and just pack up and come, and we will take you all around town. I mean, we have three veterans here. the newbie, the foreigner turned local, and we have, of course, have Jane, and we have
Yes.
Vimala too. So great, Vimala. Those are good insights from what you've said about promoting the destination and then the property. Correct.
Correct.
What do you think are these strengths and weaknesses that you foresee now, that especially in 2022 with travel being open and the borders being opened?
Well, not everything is open. We just
Mm,
have to wait and see how the people are going to come in.
mm,
We want to make sure that the travel into Malaysia is going to be seamless.
mm.
With all the SOPs put in line. People are still waiting to see. So everyone
Yes.
is like waiting. Okay, let's see, because we had sometimes the border open, and then there
Mm,
were a lot of sticky situations, and then
correct.
people held up in the airport for hours, and things like this is going viral. So a lot of people are
Mm,
just waiting and said, yes, April will open, but people are just slowly trickling in. They're not coming in
yeah.
big
Yes.
drones. Yeah, they're just
Correct.
slowly trickling in. So I think by end of April next month, you will see a little bit more movement.
Mm,
I have friends in India who keep saying, "Oh, we all want to come back. We have groups to come here.
yes.
When is your border opening?" And then they just want to come back,
Correct.
and start back their tours and all. So a little bit in this, even though everything is perfect, being in Malaysia, the politics system has
Mm.
not lined up everything in
I think
black and
step
white.
by step, yeah, step by
Yeah,
step, because
step by step.
yeah,
So
I was telling my daughter the
everyone
same thing.
starts
Yeah,
speaking the same language, and then
correct.
you find the seamless traveling. So that
Yes.
is why everything is people are learning by trial and errors.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
same thing, the hotels. We think that people, in the hotel April open, the occupancy is going to be up. So let's
Yes.
increase the prices. But no, you have to gradually grow the
Yeah.
market.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that is why we got to say slowly, gradually. So everyone has to be slowly well prepared, slowly make them to come, have your
Hmm.
price, because you got to empathize to a lot of people. When they come in, they have a lot of this medical thing,
Yes.
and bringing a family of five, that's going to be an additional cost.
Correct.
So all this put in mind, and we got to be making sure that these come and enjoy and not think about the cost first.
Yeah. So you
You know,
you you do very strongly believe that pricing will play a big, huge key in travel
it
this year,
is.
right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. It
Yes.
is.
Correct.
People are
Yeah.
going to compare your pricing of destination. I have this much money. Now,
Hmm.
which country will this money take me to?
Yeah, yeah, where can I maximize, like
Correct.
a good, like how we say it, in branding terms, get a good bang for the buck, that way. Correct.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Which have been your favorite markets so far, Vimala, to promote Malaysia?
Well, I think all markets I gradually love to go.
Hmm.
Everyone has a different character.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you promote them, everyone sees things differently.
Correct.
But I think so far the Middle Easterns and Indians
Okay.
have been constantly coming here
Hmm.
regularly. You get them from January right up to December. You
Throughout
know,
the year business, huh? Throughout
throughout
the
the
year.
year. Yeah,
Yeah.
throughout the year. All right. Whereas you see Caucasian market, they have all these 4 seasons, so their traveling
Yes.
pattern is a little bit different. You
Yes,
know,
that's correct. Correct.
so
Uh, Jane, what
so these
about
are
you?
different. Pardon?
Yeah. No, I'm saying, what about Jane? Which are your favorite locations in Malaysia that you love to tell your stories about?
Well, definitely the place where I live in, that's Kuala Lumpur. It's the capital of our nation. It's the gateway, and there's
Yes.
a lot to do here. And
Mm.
you can't even finish Kuala Lumpur. And
True.
so I will continue to promote my neighborhood, uh, but I'm not being prejudicial. I mean, there are many interesting places other than the city. You could go to the beach, you could go to other capitals, you could go up to the hills, you could go into a century-old rainforest, you go
Mm, mm.
into ancient ports, and and experience and hear those wonderful stories. So
Yes.
for me, because this is where I am right now. and I will continue to promote the heritage aspects,
Mm,
of
mm,
the
mm.
city. And there are endless possibilities here. But Ethel, there's a lot of anticipation right now, not only among the industry players, the travel agents, the tourist guides, the
Mm, mm, mm.
hoteliers, the
Yes,
restaurant owners, as to in which direction this whole thing will take place. But I think everyone is very welcoming and
correct.
accepting of the fact that we're opening our borders.
Right.
So people need to be a bit more vigilant. And Vimala has rightfully said, and that I think people want to buy right. The cost
Correct.
factor is still, pricing is still important, and
Yes.
that will be something that we will be challenging as well. Would we find
Mm,
challenging? We're going to keep our price affordable for everybody, so
correct.
that they get the best, and then we build our brand and strengthen it, and
Mm,
have better
mm,
relationship with people. That's
That's right.
correct.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. That sounds very good. So, in a nutshell, I would like to know from Vimala and from you, Jane, what is the game plan this year to support travelers coming to Malaysia?
Mm.
Is,
Well,
is there a game plan at all?
well,
Or is it too
we
early for a game plan?
it's too early, but we
Mm,
already have like drawn up maps on, where we're going to go from here. You know
okay.
what is the travel period for which country for the next 2 through 3 months. All right.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
the
mm,
Middle
mm,
Easterns will be coming,
mm,
Indians will be coming throughout
mm.
summer. It's going to get hot in Middle East. So they
That's
will
right.
get out. Yeah. So we have to already, this two market is already that prepared. Then comes July, August, September, the Caucasian market will start moving in.
Mm,
you
mm.
know
Yeah.
so you already have to already like say, okay, we do like early bird purchases, so make people to book immediately,
Correct.
in the short period to come in, so they will
Right.
also see a savings during that time.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
noticed that because the weekend Mata also kind of hosted such a big huge fair, and
Correct.
everything was available for a discount. So they were selling even airfares at a discount,
Correct.
packages at a discount, cruises at a discount, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
because I think that
That's a
is
good strategy.
a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
I thought so too, because you woo the market, right, for the next, for the at least for the
Yes.
next 6 months, and then
Correct.
when it stabilizes, then you kind of you have
Correct.
the next
Yes,
six
that's
months to
right.
decide.
That's right.
Correct.
Right.
Jane, I know in
Uh,
the meantime,
go ahead.
uh,
Sir, sorry.
yes, no, I think you in the meantime kind of put a nice spin onto your travel into your tours as you do, because of obviously you could not do it on ground because of the fact that MCO and stuff like that. So you went online, correct? And you did
Yes,
virtual tours.
I digitalized my walking tours and put
Mm,
them in virtual version,
right.
and connected with people around the world. The technology that I used was the virtual reality technology.
Hmm.
So we went out, lifted our drones, captured views from the aerial view and
Wow.
street view, and we
Wow.
stitched them together. And then we play them, so you can zoom in and zoom out, and
Hmm.
continue with the storytelling. Because our
Smart.
job, typically me, I mean, being a storyteller, if I don't tell stories of my city, I think I'm not doing justice. So
Hmm.
that digitalization was just to keep me afloat. But lately, I have started to do live streaming for my partners in New York,
Mhm.
and we were promoting Malaysia to the world while everyone else was staying at home.
Yes.
I mean, so we tourist guides, being the frontliners, there was a scenario around the world that the tourist guides were the ones who were very actively promoting their own destinations on this virtual platform, because the virtual platforms were just growing, and there was a proliferation of them. People were just working with the tour guides, and that kept
Yes.
the tour guides motivated.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
who best would do the promotion? It's the guides themselves.
Yes.
So
Correct.
I saw that
Very smart.
tremendous shift there, and it will grow. The virtual tourism is here to stay. It will not fade away. It serves its purpose. It is very useful in some countries, and
Hmm.
I hope that more Malaysians will continue to do that. And I will never stop my virtual tours. So yeah, It's
Yeah.
pretty exciting,
Yes, yes,
to connect with people around the world. I mean, even on my walking tours, sometimes I can get about 16 to 17 nationalities. And imagine how
wow.
rich the conversation can be and the
Yes,
exchange of ideas and getting the latest movie from New York or get us latest story of what's happening in Rome.
yeah, that is
That's how
smart.
powerful
That
it
is very
is.
smart. Yeah, that was very smart to see opportunity or to create one. Smart one.
Yes.
Smart one, Jane. So awesome. I think we've almost. Can you imagine when you have such a good chat? Time just flies. We're almost, yeah, 60 minutes now. Almost getting to be there. My last question would be to kind of stitch the whole conversation together. What do travel professionals need to improve on? What is the story to sell? Vimala.
Oh, well, they have to find new stuff. There are a lot of things that still not being brought out in the open. People are just still doing the same old thing, the
Yeah,
same old place to visit and all. There are a lot
absolutely.
of things behind at the back. So they just have to really open and show in more stuff than the
Hmm.
same thing. People come into Malaysia, KL, Penang, Langkawi.
Yeah,
That's it.
yes,
Then you
yes,
go, then Kalas, you go
yes.
back, right? So no, we have to do a little bit more here and there, to get them to see other
Yeah,
parts.
yeah.
People
Reinvent,
think,
no?
yeah, people
Reinvent.
think, okay, I don't want to take them in such remote places. We don't know how they're going to like it, but try it out.
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
them there.
yeah.
You go to the remote areas and then you bring them. They will be amazed what you
Correct.
can happen down there. You go to Sungai Buloh, you go to like places like out in Banting. So many things to be seen there in the paddy fields. Show
Hmm.
them all those things. They
Yeah,
will say, "Oh yes, my country have paddy fields," but how many of them actually really got down and put their foot
yeah,
in their fields?
yeah. Challenge, no? Challenge the
Yes,
narrative, right? Yeah.
right.
Challenge the
So they
narrative,
can't just know
reinvent the
all
narrative.
modern things. They got to see what the old stuff too. What the
Yes,
farmers are doing. Take them back. You go to Cameron, you see all the farming there.
yes.
A lot of kids don't know how vegetable plants are.
Hmm. Hmm.
So take them up to the farm, and
Yeah,
go and see how things are grown, how they harvest the rice, harvest
yes.
the, even like rubber.
Correct.
When was the last we went and see people go to the rubber estates, see them tapping the rubber.
Yes.
You wouldn't
Or,
believe it. I lived in, I grew up and I was a kid in the estate area. So we used
hmm.
to see that. After that, when I came back from studies, I
Hmm.
went to Thailand. And in one of my Thailand tours, they took us to this rubber estate.
Okay.
They took us
Okay.
there. They showed how these people were tapping the rubbers, how it
Right.
comes into the pot, and how do they take it to the factory. Then we go to this
Hmm.
house, little house, and how the people who live there, what are their dishes they cook. Their
Hmm.
home soul food for these
Yes.
people.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they will
And
show
I must
that
mention,
everyone eats that.
I must also mention that when Malaysia Tourism invited me and other media, professionals, they actually showcased a lot of the homestays, the rubber
Yes,
estate, the stingless bee, that whole honey farm.
yes,
And yeah, I remember having some really awesome food, cooked by the locals. I think I was the only
correct.
one eating twice, like eating twice lunches, eating twice dinners, and they were like, "Where is it all going, Ethel? Because you're eating so much," that kind of thing. And I thought it's such fantastic storytelling from just the obvious, that you kind of see
Yes,
the shopping in the malls and stuff like
yes,
that, right? Yeah,
yes. So
yeah,
those are the things people bring more experience back.
yes, I
Taking
agree.
them to the shopping malls and high towers and all. It's
Yes,
just it's a little thing. But the
I
ones that stays in people's heart are these
yes,
things.
yeah, I
The
completely agree.
experience.
I
Yeah.
completely
So
agree,
I
and
wish
that
more tour operators would bring that,
yeah,
into their packages and all that for people to experience.
correct. And I'm sure Jane also agrees because I can see her smile reaching up to her ears because that's exactly what she intends to, and she has been doing it as a passionate storyteller. Jane, share with us.
It's undeniable that we have plenty of things that people can experience from the authentic one right to the rudimentary. What
Yes.
I would continuously do is to keep uh, promoting the destination, promoting your services, reaching out to them, letting them know that you're really getting value for every dollar that you spend,
Right.
and that it's all safe here. The friendship that you can build is tremendous, and
Yes.
I mean, like I said, if I leave Malaysia to go to another place, I go with an open mind, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to see what's so authentic about that place. What would be memorable? Likewise, like I said, everybody travel for various reasons.
Correct.
But what we're seeing right now, Ethel, is ever since the border opened, we're seeing a lot more businesses coming in,
Mm-hmm.
business people traveling because they could not do those, in a proper manner. So
Yes.
I see that happening right now, and I'm really hopeful
Yes.
that till the end of the year that we will see a remarkable growth, not only in the numbers, which is what our ministry is betting on,
Correct.
but at the same time, the currency exchange and the economy is boosted. The hospitality industry is rebooted, and
Yes.
employments are back in the mainstream, and quite
Mm-hmm.
because we've heard, we don't know what the statistics are, that quite a
Correct.
number of people in the travel business had left the industry to do something,
Yes.
because everybody knew when the
Obviously.
COVID hit, the first industry to be badly impacted were the tourism industry,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we are the first ones now that people are seeking for,
That
and
is that's good. That is good. That is
yeah.
good news,
And
because
I'm very conscious. I'm very conscious that all Malaysians, whether you are a hotelier or a tour operator, everybody is just picking up the pieces and making it work, and it will work. So,
yes.
you know, very
Also,
hopeful.
I think, and I'm sure both of you will agree, that the focus needs to be more on quality as well. Correct? Not
Yes,
just the numbers.
Absolutely,
Yeah, just not the
absolutely,
numbers,
yeah.
but on
absolutely. That
quality
that's
travelers. Right?
that's
Quality,
without.
safety, right pricing, you name it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I realized it, as soon as my book was out, The Stiletto Foodie, which Malaysia Tourism also endorsed it. Most of my readers were all international, readers, and they were very, very surprised that with the kind of narrative I was sharing with them, from perspective of food, spirituality, everything that I was experiencing myself. And they kind of wrote back to me saying, Ethel, this is exactly what we want to come and experience in Malaysia, and that they did not know, that what I'm saying, that this is what you can also come and just kind of feel, from the soul level. And of course, I always believe and know so that food is such a connector of people, right? So
yeah,
all my storytelling is from the perspective of food, because I think that's where it is. That's where the emotions are, and that's where the seed of the soul also is, right? So
Yes.
wow, yeah, wow. And both of
Yeah.
you are foodies too. I know that.
yeah. We eat 6 meals a day, and we're still pretty
Yeah.
healthy looking.
Yes. Awesome. Vimla loves to eat too. So I know that, because both of us, I mean, all the three of us have traveled within ourselves, and connected over food and restaurants. So yeah,
Absolutely.
food also kind of binds us together. Great. This has been an awesome conversation, and I'm sure that whoever has joined us, and I will share this very widely, all across my platforms, to kind of really speak from the heart, to share so much of your insights and inputs that has come from Jane and from Vimala, and I'm sure people who will watch will appreciate the inputs. I appreciate the fact that I've got to learn things that you do, and things that you kind of want to also share um,
Right.
with your industry peers as well. So, Jane, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
Vimala, thank you so much.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
yeah,
Thanks.
and hey, ladies, we need to have more fem trips, huh? By the way, walking,
Yes.
driving, cycling, I don't care. Let's just do it.
Yes,
Well,
I've been on Jane's tour, and they really, you asked me to go back. I'll bring friends and just go and join her tours, like, again and again. I think I brought
thank you.
friends also a couple of
Yeah,
It's an
times.
eye opener, really.
That's
It's an eye
correct.
yeah,
opener. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
promised Jane
Well,
that.
the next time I'll be bringing my ukulele, and we'll be singing on the street. So
Oh, that
yeah.
is really cool. That's really cool. Wow.
We'll end our walk with songs. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. To all of my all of my viewers who are here with us still and commenting, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time and logging in from Malaysia as well as from India. To Jane, thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you, Ethel.
To Vimala, thank you so much. I know I think it's almost dinner time now, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, big meal awaits us, awaits me as well. So, ladies, thank you. Terima kasih for joining in. And yeah, and as I said, when we kind of go offline, please share it with your audiences too, because everyone wants to know what you have to say. So, thank you,
Yeah.
and
Jumpa lagi.
Jumpa lagi. Yes.
masalama. Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Obrigado.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
To everyone who's here and still logged in, thank you so much for joining in and being a part of this conversation. As I said, I'm very, very happy to take season 2 forward as Malaysia opens up her borders. India also has opened up her borders too on March 27th. And, India is completely gung-ho to also invite travelers from everywhere because it's home for me too. And Malaysia is also home. And the idea is to kind of, I think, share the stories of Malaysia and India through to travel, to tourism, to the entire incredible India campaign too, and to Malaysia, truly Asia, the soul of what it also kind of stands for and speaks for. I love both the countries, so here's to an awesome 2022. A big shout out again to the Mac Clinic for joining hands with us for season 2. As I said, Dr. Hugh is on a holiday today with family, so we have left him undisturbed, but he will join us next Sunday. In the meantime, to everyone who joined in, thank you so much for coming on live. Please share this link with your friends too, because as I said, I'm all looking forward to see you in Malaysia very, very soon, and connect with me, and I'm more than happy to kind of show you this awesome country that has embraced me as her daughter and made me her own. So thank you for joining in. Have a great evening. Have a great Monday start tomorrow, and be happy. Be happy from the heart. Do good. Let us learn to be really kind to each other in a manner of our actions, speech, and deeds. That growth is a constant journey for all of us, as it is to me. And yes, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Heart to Heart. Good night.